helping them just to have a drink or something like that, it doesn't just end there. There's a lot more things than companionship without beer, without a drink or without a smoke. And there's many a time going out. You miss a man's company, you miss his pension. And when a man isn't working, he feels as though he has to stop away because he hasn't got the money in his pocket.
Would you be prepared to work half a week, to allow the unemployed to work half a week?
No, without any doubt at all. And it's something we have done, in actual fact, to share work. Shiftmen have shared work at the steelworks. Men are sharing work now at Richards and Westgards. Yes, it's a good principle and one I'll stick to all the way through.
I work in industry locally, the same as our friends along there, and we agreed to share work. If we are going to have unemployment, we said, right, we'll go along the right way and we'll share the work out so that if we have to work 4 days a week, we would work 4 days a week. It's the only answer to it. You can't have a man on the door and another man working.
Do you feel more insecure because of unemployment in the area?
Without doubt.
We are alarmed at unemployment. We're not frightened of it. For the simple reason, we believe in the future.
But I think that everyone that is employed at the moment has got this threatening axe. They don't know where it's going to fall next. If there's 40 people waiting outside the gate for your job, you more or less got to put some extra effort into it. We know for a fact that this is against the principles more or less adopted by the trade unions, but after all, one's got to look after one's self-preservation.
With a steadily rising unemployment figure, there's less money circulating in West Hartlepool. Businesses are affected, and trade in the shops has fallen in the last 6 months. The expensive household goods are affected most. For those on restricted budgets, food, rent and fuel have a higher priority than washing machines, refrigerators and television sets. But some small businesses, like second-hand clothes shops, are not having a bad time. New clothes are too expensive for some unemployed families, especially those with growing children. Second-hand dealers are doing good business because some people want to raise extra money by selling what they can spare, while others want to buy goods cheaply. The articles cater for all needs and all ages. They're sold on a commission basis.
We charge them 12.5%, and they're allowed to leave their goods with us for a month, and if we don't sell them, then they can take them out or leave them for another month for a small rent. We charge a small rent, you see.
You don't think that 12.5% is rather high, considering that you have no capital invested here?
No, I'm afraid we couldn't work under less. We shall never get rich, but we find the business very interesting. In fact, it's fascinating.
What kind of rent do people have to pay to keep the goods in here?
It's about 5% over the month. Yes.
How has unemployment affected the kind of things that people want to sell?
I think it's stepped up the quality of the goods we get, probably. Probably people are reluctant to part with some of the goods we get, but they're wanting some money. And in that way, we're able to help a bit, I think.
Do you find that more people are wanting to sell now rather than to buy?
Yes, I think so, yes. There's not the money about just at present owing to the unemployment. But anything over about £4 or £5 we find sticks a bit now.
What can they do to help themselves? If there's no work in West Hartlepool, how far should they travel to find employment?
Here's West Hartlepool. Went from West Hartlepool to London. From London we went into Essex, covering all Essex area. From there we made a detour back to London, up to Peterborough. From Peterborough went back to West Hartlepool. Following week we went into Newcastle, covering all the Newcastle area. From there we went into Team Valley, covering all the Team Valley area. Came from there, came down into Sunderland and back to West Hartlepool.
Well, did you not get a job in any of these areas at all?
Oh yes, I was offered jobs, but the rate was no good. I couldn't afford to live down there at all.
But weren't you offered the trade union rate for the job?
Oh yes, I was offered trade union rates. but I mean the trade union rate wasn't high enough.
What sort of rate do you want?
Oh, between 17 and 18 pounds. I must have that to send money home. I have a lot of responsibilities. House, furniture, wife.
Why don't I go down south? Why should I go down south? This is my hometown, and this is where I live, and this is where I've been brought up, and this is where I've been working since I left school. And this is where I'm prepared to stop. The streets of London aren't lined with gold. There's money here when it comes, and I'm going to be prepared to stop here and wait till a job arises. If I did go south, it would mean running 2 homes, because I wouldn't think of taking the wife and the children down south, because this is their home as well as mine, and this is where the wife's parents is, and my parents. And therefore, going down south wouldn't solve anything as far as I'm concerned. This is where I'm staying.
I don't think there's any need for us to go down the south of England after all said and done. We're bred and born in West Hartlepool, and I think we should, I think we should have work up here, without any doubt.
Do you feel that West Hartlepool owes you a living?
West Hartlepool doesn't owe me nothing. It doesn't owe anybody anything. We owe West Hartlepool something to try and make West Hartlepool something. They don't owe us anything. We owe them it. I expect we've got the work to keep going. I mean, the point about it all is it's not a point of saying, does West Hartlepool owe us anything? All we want to do is to go to work. We don't want to owe anybody anything.
What happens if unemployment goes on indefinitely? What will you do then?
Well, that's a big point. I think we just have to wait on that question. I mean, the point about it all is, if it goes on indefinite, well, I mean, that's a very big point, I think, that one. I think, what do you mean by another 2 or 3 years? Something like, oh, by God, we'd have to do something. We'd have to go down south. We'd have to do something really drastic. I hope to God it doesn't go on that long. It's about time somebody done something about it. Because I think there's a lot of chaps who are getting bloody sick about it myself. I don't know about anybody else.
Some people do get jobs in the south, but unless the family can go with them, they create as many problems as they solve.
I got paid off 7 weeks ago, and I've been to London for a job, and I've managed to get one in Hatfield, just outside London.
Will your wife and child be joining you there?
No, not yet. We haven't got a house down there.
Are you going to sell this house?
No. As we haven't got a house down there, we can't sell it yet because there'll be too much money lost.
You mean you won't be able to sell this house in any case?
In any case, because, well, the people in the town haven't got the money. It's with them being out of work.
How long have you been in this house?
3 years, but I was in Germany with the forces for 2 of them.
So you've really only lived in this house for 1 year?
For 1 year, yes.
And now you're leaving again?
Yes.
There are plenty of houses for sale in West Hartlepool, and many would leave to find work if they could find accommodation elsewhere. For some who own their own houses, it's increasingly difficult to sell them.
Well, we find that houses such as this behind us normally would be selling overnight, or certainly within the course of a night or two. And now just the opposite is happening. They're standing for many months in some cases, and it has made a very big difference in the, as far as the people are concerned, the owners of their houses, who just don't know what they're going to do. They can't commit themselves to other houses until they've got rid of their present houses, and it's had a very big effect on the speed with which houses are sold.
Is this because the unemployed can't buy them?
That is one of the reasons, but it isn't only the unemployed, it's the insecurity. We know of people who have committed themselves to buy houses, and having committed themselves, they then find that when the building society make inquiries from the employers on behalf of the mortgaging people, they just dare not commit themselves any further. The security is not there, and where the people themselves thought that they were probably working indefinitely, they find from the employers that the security has been cut altogether. Within 2 or 3 months, anything could happen.
How seriously have prices been affected?
Oh, very much. We have evidence of houses in the 4,000 region, which, after having stood for five or 6 months, have come down. The asking price is now in the 3,000 regions, and still the houses are standing. Of course, that doesn't mean that houses aren't selling. There are still houses going, but nothing like they were going some time ago, say 2 or 3 years ago.
Have you any idea how many houses there are for sale in the town at the moment?
I would think there's something between 400 and 500. At least 400, probably nearer 5.
She's Venus and blue jeans, Mona Lisa with a ponytail. I'm a skilled tradesman, sheet metal worker, which I served 5 years at. Now, 9 months ago, into redundancy, I got put out of my job. Now, I tried a job in a tailor's shop. They asked me to get a black suit out of my savings. Well, I did that, but due to overstaffing, I got pushed out. So now I'm trying my hand as a singer. I've been doing it for quite a while, and I hope I can make a name for myself.
Most of West Hartlepool's unemployed don't expect to make names for themselves. Their main hope is to find jobs and use the skills they've acquired in the factories and shipyards.
Well, I've applied for 18 jobs in all since last April. 7 of them have been advertised. I only heard from 2 of those, and the others I just went round and asked if they had any work, but there hasn't been any at all, nothing doing whatsoever.
Really, he has been a bit depressed, and I've been a bit depressed, you know, but it's just one of those things you've just got to get over.
Oh, I've wrote umpteen letters, and I've been over to this trading estate a dozen times. But of course, I haven't just touched out up to date.
The letterbox goes and it comes galloping down, and it's another disappointment. That idea, you see, and I'm horrified he sort of loses his sense of humour, you know. That's what bothers me more than anything, not so much me as him. You see, I mean, at first, we always sort of thought, oh, here's another chance. But since then, it's gone on, and he says, oh, no, it's the age that does it, you see, that idea. As soon as they know you're 57, you seem as if you've had it.
There's nothing, no. Steelworks is on 3-day a week, which is the biggest concern in the town. Other places have been paying them off, well, the biggest majority of them. The shipyards closed down. What the expansion is sort of on slack time, on short time as well. They paid men off. Half the men that were on the crew that I was working with, they've been paid off. There was 90 men on the outdoor squad, and there's, what, 45 of them being paid off.
Terrible, I think. It's not right for a man to sit around the house all day. He doesn't know what to do with himself. Can't go out anywhere. And there's just nothing to do.
Well, I've been all around the town and looking for work here. There's no work at all. I've been to Stockton, Middlesbrough. There's no work there. You can't get a job anywhere. For love nor money, you can't.
Oh, it's hitting pretty badly, he feels, because he's never been out to work, he says. He's just sitting about. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's been out looking for jobs, but he can't find any. He's never been out to work since he left school. This is the first time.
As the days go by, you just sink, you're inclined to sink lower and lower. I feel that I'm losing a certain dignity and self-respect. And you're inclined if you let yourself go, to think that you're becoming a bit of a parasite, living on the backs of your fellow men.
Waiting for